Well, welcome Belmont students. We are excited to have you with us today. Again, I'm Dave, one of the therapists on campus, and we are going to spend a little bit of time today talking about two topics. One would be sleep hygiene, and the other one is going to be some of our eating habits. And we hope that this will be just a helpful little info video for you as you navigate this season of quarantine. And so let me have our two guests today on this video introduce themselves. So Hannah, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, I'm a counselor in counseling services. My name is Hannah Peterson. I have a master's in social work, and my licensure is LMSW. So when you look me up, it's Hannah Peterson, licensed master's in social work.
Cool, thank you. And Cara, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Cara Miller, the campus dietitian. I work in a lot of different areas, and I'm excited to be here today.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, both of you. So, Cara, I'm going to start with you. So I know you emailed me this question to ask you, but I actually have been dying to ask you this myself. And so the first question is, I know that a lot of us have been dealing with excess snacking. Any tips that you have for those of us who might be dealing with that?
Sure thing. I found that a lot of people find the pantry is a lot closer to their desk nowadays, so it's really tricky to stay away from it. One tip would be to stick to a schedule. If you can plan out your breakfast, lunch, dinner, add in a couple of snacks. You should be eating every 3 to 4 hours, but sometimes sticking to that clock is a good reminder so that you're not doing the mindless eating. Really focus on staying hydrated, because a lot of times we confuse hunger for thirst. So make sure that you're getting in all your water, change up your flavors, keep it interesting, get a new water bottle, but something just to make sure you're staying well hydrated. And then try to stick to things that are going to stay in your stomach a little bit more. That would be like your proteins and your fibers. So fruits and vegetables, whole grains, get in some good protein so that it kind of sits in your stomach a little bit to make sure that it tells your brain that you're full and doesn't like kind of turn to mush and just make you feel hungry again.
Awesome. Cool. So talk to us a little bit about what to do in terms of like our eating habits and stuff with all this extra time that we have now.
Sure. There's a lot of different things you can do. A lot of people now are turning to lots of different recipes they can try. There's the whole sourdough craze, which I'm sure most of you have heard about. Yeast is on short supply in some of the grocery stores, so people have turned to starting their own starters for sourdough. But it's a great opportunity to form some new habits, try some new recipes, see what might work for you, even for some time-saving, convenient things. Maybe you want to try out the crock pot because you've never used it before, so that once you get back in your apartment on campus, you kind of know how to use some of these things. Maybe you want to have your mom teach you how to hard boil an egg, just to make sure you know how to do that. Even just some of the basic cooking skills are good, but any kind of new recipes or new things I think are really great to try right now.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. And then tell us a little bit about any suggestions or helpful tips you have for those of us who might struggle with kind of beating ourselves up over the amount of junk food that we've been eating, or even just noticing some body image concerns popping up.
I think it comes back down to a lot of things that you all have been talking about a lot, is just giving yourself a lot of grace. We're in really strange times, things are really stressful. It's okay to have a meal of junk food. It's okay to have cereal for breakfast sometimes if you really don't feel like cooking. And that doesn't mean that you can't, try to get in some fruits and vegetables during the day too. I always tell people, try to eat a rainbow, get in color throughout the day, but give yourself a little bit of grace. There's 21 meals in a week. If you mess up a few of them, it's totally fine. It really is okay. Try to make sure that, again, you're staying hydrated. That helps a lot. Get some extra movement in. Maybe you want to try some meditation or some ways to just calm your brain down. And also talking with your counselors. If this is something that you're really feeling you're struggling with, really reach out to the professionals. Don't try to handle this on your own. I always tell people, you know your own red flags, or maybe even some of your family members know your red flags when you don't see them coming. So kind of just be aware of those. If you're overly looking at labels, or if you're overly restricting, or if you're eating too big of portions really regularly, that might be an opportunity for you to really check in with a professional to help you get some more tips and tricks to get you through the day.
Cool. Okay, Cara, last question for you. Heard you started an Instagram channel. Can you tell people where to find you?
I It's dietitian_Cara, and I hope you all will give me a follow. I'm new to it, but it's been a lot of fun. I can't wait to get back in the grocery stores whenever they let us back in, because I've got tons of ideas of how to help you navigate the grocery store. But for right now, I've even started like a little series called Cara's Kitchen. They're giving you some fun ideas there, different ways to make sure you are feeling full with your snack ideas. And so hopefully if you guys have any ideas you want me to talk about, I'm happy to add those in also.
Cool. Thank you. All right, Hannah, you are up. So I know you're going to talk about sleep hygiene today. Can you tell us, to kick us off, tell us a little bit about why sleep is so important?
Sleep is really important because it is the time when our body hits the reset button. So when we get into sleep, and there's different layers of sleep that do different things for our body. So when we need that full 5 hours of sleep, at least minimum, for our body to hit that real reset. And it's essentially like, if you can imagine there being, it's almost like your brain's getting cleaned out. So there's a huge hormone flush in the brain, and it essentially is just pushing out things that we don't need to keep in there anymore. And it's cueing the brain to go store memories and information that we might need, and just kind of rearranging. It's like cleaning up the playroom at the end of the day, and putting everything back where it needs to go. And if we don't do that, then it affects every area of our body. So we're talking metabolism, gut function, we're talking insulin regulation, we're talking hormone function, we're talking memory, we're talking mood, we're talking every area of our existence as a human being is affected by our sleep. So if we don't have it, it's gonna affect us in a big way.
Yeah. So when we started talking about this topic, you introduced it as sleep hygiene, and that's a new term for me. Can you tell me a little bit about how we would define what sleep hygiene is?
Yeah. So sleep hygiene is really just a sleep routine. What is your sleep routines? Mm-hmm. And how is it the hygiene part of it is, how is it functioning for you? How are you taking care of your sleep routine? If you think about like physical hygiene, brushing your teeth, bathing, making sure that, you're taking care of your person. It's the same thing with your sleep routine. When you say sleep hygiene, we're talking about what kind of care routine do you have around your sleep routine and practices?
Yeah. Awesome. So Hannah, I know this could be a semester-long conversation, but talk to us about just some quick suggestions about ways that one might address struggles with sleeping during a season like this.
Right. So it's first and foremost, it is having a lot of self-compassion for yourself, because we have been in a state of being dysregulated for a long period of time right now. So the more compassion and grace and forgiveness you can give yourself around every area of your life, whether it's food, whether it's exercise, whether it's mood and family relationships and sleep, all of these things are going to be affected by kind of what you're going through. So first and foremost is just forgiveness and understanding that this is a whole new playing field. So it's going to take time for you to figure it out. Second thing is to kind of take stock of what are your normal practices, and just kind of get a baseline. How do you interact with your sleep on a just basically, and then start to kind of make small adjustments. So trying to change something, like come in and say, I'm going to change completely the entire way that I address sleep, is most likely not going to stick.
Right.
So if you can just try to make tiny little changes. So maybe readjusting the way, how often how close to going to bed you're on your phone or on a computer, or making sure that maybe you only have set aside just some specific clothes that you wear to bed. So there are only clothes. These are like maybe a couple t-shirts and some shorts or some pants, and those are the clothes that you only wear to sleep in. So when you put them on, you're cueing your brain, I'm actually getting ready for sleep right now. And then when you wake up in the morning, you take them off and you change into your day clothes, and you're like, okay, I'm done sleeping right now. And so that's kind of doing small little changes in your routine so that you're gearing yourself up for going to bed. Also, another thing that can be really, really helpful for college students, because they are sharing space. They're doing work in a space where their bed is also in that, and which I'm sure that's happening also at home. Not doing work in your bed if you can avoid it. And if you can't avoid it, maybe setting your bed up to be a day bed, like a couch during the day, and then readjusting, moving it towards for sleeping later in the evening. So when you're getting ready to get into bed, you kind of readjust the way that's set up. So again, you're cueing that part of your brain of saying, okay, we're gearing up for bed right now. Sure. So just doing little things to kind of just like small shifts to get you to a place where you actually have a nighttime routine that's gearing you up for sleep.
Sure. Perfect. Thank you. So obviously, students, this is a short and sweet version of a much longer conversation that we could have with both of these women. But they have graciously sent me some links of some great resources that will expound quite a bit more on some of these topics. And so with this video, we're going to post some of those links. And hopefully, we're also creating a convocation that you can get credit for with some of the stuff that we're talking about in a little bit longer conversation that we've had. And so we just wanted to kind of close today and say that we are thinking about you, you seniors that are graduating. We're recording this on Friday, so what would be tomorrow? Our thoughts and our hearts are with you. We're celebrating this huge accomplishment, and we wish we could be celebrating alongside with you. And hopefully we'll get to do that in the fall when we actually do celebrate. But for the rest of you who are freshmen, juniors, seniors, we're thinking about you, and please reach out to us anytime. You can find counseling on our on just the Belmont counseling page of our website. And Cara has already told you a little bit about where to find her, but we're grateful for each and every one of you, and have a wonderful spring/summer/Maymester. Thanks a lot.